So I really like the format of the last video that I did where I talked about a book and then, kind of applied it to life. So that's what I'm going to do today. Another one of my favorite books, The Joy of Imperfection. I think y'all are going to like this. I got it. I actually wrote something down today. I'm a little more organized than usual, all right? The Joy of Imperfection is broken out into 3 big sections, right? So 12 ways perfectionism negatively impacts your life. Section 2 is 10 signs your perfectionism is out of control. And 3 is 18 simple steps for overcoming perfectionism. I'm just going to tell you my 3 favorite parts from each of those sections. If you want to read the book yourself, all of the sections are good, but I'm just going to talk about 3 in each section that I liked and that I think are important and that will probably apply to your life if you consider yourself a perfectionist or anything like that. So in the first section, one of the chapters that I liked is that it allows negative self-talk to gain a foothold, right? When you're a perfectionist, when you try to be a perfectionist, your mind is almost going to be only negative self-talk because you're only focused on your flaws. You're only focused on what you're doing wrong. And automatically that's going to negatively impact your life. You do so many things right, but you only focus on the negative. And so your mind is going to be in a negative frame. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're positive, you're going to say, well, I did this really well. I improved on this. If I keep doing this, I'm going to be good. If you're a perfectionist, all you can think is, oh man, I really messed that up. People are going to make fun of me. All this stuff is rooted in insecurity. Perfectionism is just purely insecurity. You can try to dress it up whatever way you want to, but it is insecurity. It's a need to please people, or a need, or I should say a want to not want to get made fun of or criticized, right? So second point, it makes you unprepared for unanticipated problems. 100%, right? So I'll use podcasting, for example. Lots of people tell me they're going to start a podcast. I'm going to start a podcast. I just have to get this. I just have to get this. I just got to get a camera. I still use my iPhone that has a broken lens, by the way. Like I got a big hole in my lens. I got to use the second lens because the first lens is too blurry. I got a cheap mic. I just got a ring light recently. These are all problems that I didn't anticipate when I started. But I just adapted, bro. Like, I'm just like, whatever happens is cool. I'm going to adjust, and I'll just make it better the next time. You think you're going to have everything perfect. You got the perfect camera. You got the perfect mic. You think you have the perfect lighting, and you realize the sun sets at this time, and you were going to do your podcast at this time, and it doesn't work out. Same thing with fitness, business, language learning. It's all the same stuff. You map this stuff out in your head and you have no idea of the real problems that are actually going to occur because you have to go experiment for those problems to occur. And then, when those problems occur, you get down on yourself because you're like, oh, I spent all this time and I should have prepared. And then you get depressed because you spent so much time trying to be perfect and you're not going to be perfect anyways. That's the real problem. You can't be perfect. So trying to be perfect, you're already messing up, right? And so the third point in the same section, it impairs your ability to make decisions. I'm sure you've heard of paralysis by analysis, right? There's just, I could name countless things, especially with language learning. But this is everything: fitness, language learning, business, whatever, podcasting. Again, like I said, it's like I'm going to do it when this happens because you assume that thing's gonna happen. You assume you're gonna get to a certain level. People tell me all the time, I'm gonna compete when I can hit these numbers. You don't know if you're ever gonna be able to hit those numbers. You don't know if you're ever gonna have the money to buy the camera you want to start a podcast. You don't know anything. Just start today. Just do something. Get over it, bro. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to look stupid. It doesn't matter what you're doing. That's kind of how it goes, right? Let's move on to the next section. The signs that your perfectionism is out of control. So this is how you might know that you are a perfectionist and that it's ruining you, right? So the first thing, you're always looking for things that you did wrong rather than celebrating things that you did right. Like I said earlier, right? So a positive mindset would be, hey, I improved on this. I'm doing this well. If I continue to do this well, I'll get here. I'm getting incrementally better, blah, blah, blah. As a perfectionist, all you can think about are things that you did wrong, which means that success will never be enough for you. You make $1 million and you're like, man, if I would have did this, I could have made $2 million. I could make $1 billion. You will never be enough in that mindset. You're not looking at anything that you're doing right. You're only looking at how you weren't perfect. And that's never ending, right? So I'm not going to expand on that too much. I think it's pretty simple. Second thing, you become defensive when others highlight errors that you've made. And I see this a lot, right? People actually ask me for constructive criticism, which is it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you're reaching out and asking for constructive criticism. But they get like super hurt when I tell them that they're doing something wrong. I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely wouldn't do that. That's blah, blah. And they're like, well, you don't know like my body. You don't know the things that I had to go through. I barely got any sleep. That's why I look like that. It's like, okay, bro, like that's still wrong. It's still wrong. Like, like if I tell you like, hey, this food is salty. And you're like, well, why don't you get in there and cook it? You don't know how hard it is to cook and blah, blah. It's like, bro, I just said the food is salty, bro. Like, you can say it's supposed to be salty. You can say, oh, I didn't mean to make it that salty. You can not acknowledge it. But if you get defensive because I give you criticism or because I state a fact, that's not good, right? That's really not good. So you'll see that, all the time with perfectionists. Like any kind of constructive criticism, they take it as a personal attack on themselves because, like I said, it's rooted in insecurity. And you saying that they didn't do something right, it's like, like this is exactly what I thought was gonna happen. I'm gonna be a failure, blah blah blah, all that stuff, So next thing, you have difficulty finishing projects, and that's big. I used to be like that. Now I don't finish projects because I'm lazy, but not because I'm a perfectionist. It's just like you put so much energy into being perfect that you eventually give up. It's the same kind of paralysis by analysis, just to the point that you get overwhelmed, maybe even depressed. Like I said, language learning is a good example. People, they start making progress, and it's like, okay, you need to go talk to people. And they're like, I'm going to talk to people once I feel like this. And they put so much thought into talking to people that they never talk to people, and then they just stop, and they're like, yeah, I used to be learning a language, and now I don't anymore. Or just anything. Businesses too. People do whole layouts like, oh, these are the clothes I'm going to sell. I got the design. All I got to do is this, and that, and the other. But you're trying to get so many little things right. You're trying to control every aspect. You're trying to be a control freak, and you never finish it because there's always something that you can fix. There's always something that you can make more perfect, and that just leads to you never finishing it. And then it's just like I said, by trying to be perfect, you become the exact opposite of perfect. You become a person that does nothing. You're making no progress towards your goal because you won't even take that first step because you want it to be perfect. So, moving on to the third section, 18 simple steps for overcoming perfectionism. I'll just pick 3, like I said. The first thing is that you have to realize that perfection is an illusion. It's literally not possible to be perfect. You always could have done something better. You always could have done something worse too, though. And once you realize that you can't be perfect, and you allow yourself to make mistakes and you allow yourself some grace, bro, you're going to make more progress than you ever would have made trying to be perfect, because you're actually going to be taking steps forward. You're actually going to be out there in real life. You're actually going to be getting feedback. You in your bubble trying to be perfect gets no feedback. You get no feedback, bro. You're not making any mistakes because you're living in your head. Of course, once you go out there in the real world, you're going to see all the mistakes that you will make, and you'll get feedback, and you can correct those mistakes, which is going to make you improve. It's going to make you better. But until you do that, you'll be perfect in your head, which is not perfect at all. So, second thing, remove yourself from the competition. And this is huge in everything. Comparison is a thief of joy. Most cliche thing ever, but it's true. There's people on YouTube that make the exact, and I do mean the exact same content as me. And they have way more subscribers. They have way more views. I don't think that they're more interesting than me. Maybe they are, but who knows? If I said that to myself, like, well, this person already has this and they're doing it better, and oh man, I can't beat this guy because he has this, then you wouldn't be watching this video right now, even though it might only be 3 of y'all. But you know, the fact is that, like, I make a video, you watch it, you should tell that to yourself too. Like, you know, it's not about are you making the same content as me. You can remake this video, bro, and I would say you should. You can have your own spin on it, bro. You have your own life, you have your own experiences, you have your own perception, your own mind frame. You could make a video on the exact same book as me, the exact same topic, basically copyright it, and it's still going to be different because you're a completely different person. You cannot compare yourself to other people. Your life is super unique. And I'm not saying you're special, like, oh, like you're the greatest thing in the world, like your mom said. You are literally unique, bro. Nobody else is you. Nobody else has lived your life. Nobody else has had your experiences. They had similar experiences. They might have grew up in the same town as you. They might be the same age as you, but they're not you. They didn't live your life. They didn't have your parents. They don't have your mind. You are unique in that sense. And so no matter what you think about other people, they don't have the same experience as you. And you can talk about the same thing as them, and it's going to be unique. And you never know who wants to hear that unique experience. So stop thinking about other people and do your damn thing. All right? The very last thing on this video, make deliberate mistakes. The big thing about perfectionists is that they think when they make a mistake, it's going to be the end of the world. The world's going to laugh at them. And they're going to cry and never be taken seriously again, and whatever perfectionists think. But if you make those mistakes on purpose, you'll realize that nobody cares. Nobody cares, bro. People make mistakes all the time, bro. Like, in the case of language learning, I stutter in my own language. I don't have a stuttering problem, but sometimes you're trying to get a word out and you can't say it, or sometimes you say the wrong thing on accident, or you say it really weird and you're like, why did I say it like that? When I'm speaking my second language, I'm like, I don't want to accidentally say it wrong. Let me think about this. And it's just like, nobody cares, bro. If you say it wrong, just say, oh, I meant to say this. Just say it the right way right afterwards, bro. Like, literally, nobody cares. So make those mistakes on purpose. Try to say complex sentences in a second language, and say it completely wrong. Somebody's going to correct you. They might laugh at you, bro. Sometimes you say funny stuff on accident. Sometimes you say funny stuff in your native language on accident. As far as fitness or business goes, make mistakes. Put yourself out there. Try something new. Put your clothing line out there. I've said this in a video before. Put your trash design out there today, bro. Make the mistake. Get some feedback. People are going to tell you it's trash. Or they're not going to buy it and you're going to know it's trash. But make the mistake. Put it out there. The worst thing that happens is that you go, this is trash, bro. I got 0 purchases. Or somebody, tweets you and they're like, bro, this is the worst shirt I ever seen in my life. Okay, who cares? Like, People make trash clothes every day, but now you got some feedback. This shirt is trash because you put this on it. If you would have made it like this, it would have been better. Okay, now you can make a better shirt, bro. Make a mistake on purpose. Nobody cares, bro. When you make that good product, when you make that good podcast, when you do that good thing, no one's gonna be thinking about all the mistakes you made in the past, bro. Like, do we know the failed shoes before Nike got famous? No. All we know is that Michael Jordan linked up with Nike, and Nike's huge now. I don't know what their shoes look like before Michael Jordan, bro. I don't know what the prototype Nike shoe look like. I don't care. I care about buying some Nikes tomorrow. That's what I care about. So make some mistakes. Put yourself out there. Stop trying to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. You don't look perfect. You're ugly. Sorry. I had to be the one to tell you. See, now you know. You can't be perfect. You would have to look perfect to be perfect. You're automatically starting off on the wrong foot because you're ugly. So anyways, there you have it. I love the book. I'll post it in the beginning of the video like I always do. Go check it out. Yeah. I hope this video wasn't too long. I tried to keep it under 10 minutes. We'll see. Thanks for watching. We passed 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to do that draw on the 25th because that's when I get paid. So I'll pay somebody on the 25th or around then, okay? But we won't get into November without the person getting paid their $200, all right? And if you don't know how to win the $200, that just means you haven't been watching my videos, okay? So, sucks to suck, baby. Somebody's going to get $200. Until next time, my friends.